Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Microsoft Reactor livestream. I'm Isabel, your host, and I couldn't be more excited to have you join us for this inspiring session. Before we get started, a quick reminder about the Reactor Code of Conduct. We strive to create a welcoming, positive, and inclusive space for everyone. So please let's keep the chat respectful and supportive. Today, we're thrilled to be joined by Emily and Ye. Emily is the principal PM manager and leads the Data Factory APAC PM team and has a wealth of experience in AI-driven enterprise solutions and product management. Ye is a senior program manager and has spent 9 years delivering cutting-edge data integration features across Azure Data Factory, Synapse, and Fabric, while actively sharing his experience with the community. Throughout today's session, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we'll answer as many as we can. And don't worry if you miss anything, because the recording will be available later on the Reactor YouTube channel. Now, today is the first session of our Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric live stream. I will be dropping the link in the chat for our landing page where you will be able to register for our upcoming session in December. And now, without any further ado, let's welcome Emily and Ye. Take it away, guys.
Hey, hello everyone. Thank you everyone to join our Data Factory series on the live stream. So today it is our first session. I'm so glad that Ye and I we are going to introduce what's new and the roadmap. And we will spend the next 1 hour together with you to share some exciting new features. Okay, let me start. And thank you, Isabel, to introduce Ye and I. And let me first start by expressing our appreciations. So we're really grateful for all of you, our Fabric community. It is the communities that build the Fabric Data Factory. So it is your voice and your successful story, and even your pinpoint that drive us to create the product that we refine and iterate on week after week and month after month. So ideas is one of the main channels we build to get the product feedback. So we try to systematically work through those ideas based on the vote provided by you. And also in the last year, we have completed the features that among the most votes, we have 537 votes, and also over 21 features delivered to help to address our customers' requests. And we have more on the way, so be sure to take a look at the ideas and to share your feedback and request with us. So Fabric Data Factory is in a rapid pace of innovations. So you will see that every month we have new features released. So you can check our monthly feature announcement blog to stay up to date with the latest innovation. Like in the October, we also have the latest release. And in the November, we will share with you and what we are going to release and announce in the Ignite. So the next, we'll talk about Fabric. So Fabric is a unified data platform in the era of the AI. So it's the only unified platform in this industry because it brings together a unified data foundations that deeply integrates data factory, data engineering, the data warehouse, data science, RTI, real-time intelligence, and the Power BI. So we built on the industry's first AI data lake, which is one lake, and governed by the Purview. So for Data Factory in Fabric, so we combine the two together. The first is the Pro DI, which is enterprise data integration in Azure. So we bring together the capabilities which already approved in ADF and in Synapse Link and Purview, and combined we bring with you with the self-service data preparation with Power Query, which is support Power BI, Office 365 Dynamics, and Power Platform. And with combined ADF, the enterprise data integration and the self-service data preparation together, we bring you the Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric, so which is an integrated SaaS platform and we bring you the low-code and pre-code tool together. And the whole data factory is AI powered. And also we embrace the open source. You will see the open source modules in Fabric. So next, we will talk about the how the data factory support all the major data integration critical capabilities. So in the left, you will see that data factory offers the best-in-class connectivities through thousands of connectors to business critical data source. So which means you can access to data source no matter where they are, either in the on-prem, in the cloud, or behind the virtual network and firewalls. And second, we will talk about the data movement. So for the data movement, it's built on the ADF's proven capabilities that is used to move hundreds of megabytes every month. For orchestration, so orchestration is also built on the ADF's industry-leading orchestration capabilities. Currently, it is responsible for running tens of thousands and billions of orchestration per month. We also talk about the transformation. So transformation that is bring by the Power Query, the industry-leading data preparation experience, and now it will support the transformation at the enterprise scale. Also, deployment, DevOps, and observabilities are built in to the data factory as part of a complete data management and integration platform. So all of this we are built on top of One Lake and AI-powered intelligence. So first, let's talk about the best-in-class connectivities. So you will see if you open the Fabric, if you choose the source, you will see there are hundreds of connectors. You can filter by files type. You can filter by database we support it. And it is also support the Fabric and the Power Platform, Azure, and also some online services. So you will see the variety and the diversity of the connectors we have today. Next, we will show you that the best-in-class connectivities, we have 117 connectors built by Microsoft and also together by our third-party partners. So those are certified and shipped by Microsoft. You will see those top and most asked connectors as an example. And besides those built-in, we also working closely with our partner, our ISVs in the communities, using the SDK, Connect SDK to build the connectors from the communities. So which brings you the best-in-class connectivities with the most rich and diversity connectors we have. Okay, so here we show you the connectors roadmap. So you will see that what we announced today, actually last week in Ignite, we have Asperger format supported in ADLS Gen 2, supported for pipeline. And we have two pipeline connectors, MariaDB and ServiceNow, which is available now. And for Fabric SQL database, which is available and supported for both pipeline and Dataflow Gen 2. And coming soon in the future, our roadmap we will have 7 top asked connectors for data pipeline. For the Dataflow Gen 2, we will have more new certified connectors for Dataflow Gen 2. And SAP connectors is always the top ask. You will see we'll have 4 SAP connectors in our roadmap. Okay, so next we are going to talk about the data movement. I will leave that to my colleague, Ye.
Thank you, Emily. Next, I'm going to talk about the one of the major DI capability, data movement. So let's move to the next page. So we know data factory in Fabric have already provided petabyte scale data movement via the copy activity in a pipeline. So given that, you can easily, move your data from any source to any destination, no matter your data was located on-premise, on cloud, or based on the Firebase store or database on NoSQL, you can easily move them. The copy as the experience, you may be aware that it's a little bit buried in the orchestration concept of a pipeline, right? So today, if you want to simply move your data, you need to create a pipeline first, and then in a pipeline, you can drag and drop a copy activity to move your data. So, and then what's more is that um, if you want to do a incrementally load the change data from the last run, so you need to build your own logic. So given that, so 2 months back, we announced a new feature in the next page. So it's called the copy job item. So this guy is a new item in Data Factory to simplify your data movement from any source to any destination. And the more important thing is that the more copy pattern, like incremental copy, gonna just work in copy job. So let's play the demo video for you.
Okay.
Right from my Data Factory homepage, I'll create a new artifact to kick off the data copy process. After naming it, you might notice this beautiful UI. This is the new modern Get Data experience. If you haven't seen it before, we have modernized our Get Data experience so everything is really easy to navigate. And directly from this experience, I can pick the lakehouse to move data from, and another lakehouse in a different workspace as a destination. And just like that, it is easy moving data across workspaces. How awesome is that? This copy job has an even more exciting feature, the ability to perform incremental data loads. This means you can update your data in near real time every time there's a change. Let me show you how to enable incremental data loading with this copy job. I have created a new copy job item and I got some sales data on an on-premises SQL server, and I don't want to load it every time. I'll connect to an on-prem SQL server and I'll select the database and choose the tables I want to copy over. Then, for this example, I'll land my data into another SQL database as a data destination. Now I'll choose a data movement type, either a full batch copy or an incremental copy. Let's go with the incremental by specifying the watermark column for each table. As soon as we kick off the process, the copy job from our external SQL Server database to the other SQL database begins. Within a few seconds, you can see an initial snapshot of my tables copied over. From there, subsequent copies only transfer the changes, which save both time and resources. For instance, if I go back to my SQL Server, I'll go and insert a couple of rows to the customers table, and only those 2 rows will be copied into the next run. When I check back in my copy job, I can see those 2 rows have been incrementally loaded in. We can also manage advanced configurations like read-write behaviors, partitions and latency, and monitor the job status through throughput and data volumes. While incrementally copying tables is impressive, we can do the same with file systems too, from any source to any destination. In my Amazon S3 bucket, I have a bunch of product images that contain large amounts of product images. I've set up a new copy job to incrementally copy these images from my S3 bucket into my Fabric Lakehouse. And in just a few seconds, those images have successfully made their way into one lake. If I navigate to my Lakehouse, you can see all my product images in their specific folders right there. And now often, we have images being added to our product catalog, and I don't want to keep on copying those images from S3 over to my Lakehouse. I have a new folder, number 20, with 10 images that I need to be added to my catalog that I want to incrementally load into Fabric. Watch how easy this is. I'll simply drag and drop the folder with these images into my S3 bucket. Now, if we navigate back to my copy job, you'll see that the new images have already been incrementally added in. And just like that, I can open them right in my Lakehouse instantly.
Yeah, thank you for watching the demo. Then let's talk about the roadmap for the copy job. So with a fast-paced innovation culture within the team, we simply did not stop after we just publicly previewed the copy job 2 months back. Um, so recently at Ignite, we just delivered the copy job CI/CD so that you can build your data analysis platform project with your copy job in a cross collaboration environment. And what's more is that we also deliver more write behavior option for you so that you can using copy job to upsert data for Azure SQL DB and the SQL Server. You can also overwrite your data in Fabric Lakehouse tables. So we after that, so we're also actively working on more connector enabled in copy job so that in future you can get data from all the most popular connector, including SAP, Oracle, etc. We can also enable you for copy job to enable the VNet environment so that you can using copy job to get data from the VNet environment to any place you want. We are also adding native change data capture capability in copy job. So when we have that, you do not need to specify any watermark column to identify the changes, right, for incremental copy. So incremental copy will just work without any input. And what's more, with the native change data capture, you can also have a way to copy your row deletion from source to destination by specifying the delete the same on destination or the soft deletion, etc. And the next one is a incremental copy reseeding, which allow you, reset the copy job from incremental copy so that you can, reinitiate copy job from scratch by the initial full load. This can also give you more flexibility. The last one and more, we can also support our public API support and more. And those are the same for the copy job. So next, I'm gonna spend a few minutes talk about the orchestration, another very important data integration capability. So we know Data Factory can orchestrate your data movement, data transformation, data cleansing, and more to make sure your end-to-end data integration workflow work fine, right? And given that, you can compose the case like I want to um, move my data to my data lake, and after my data movement completed, I want to trigger my data transformation to do the data cleansing, right? And after that completed, I want to do pass my data to my machine learning model to do the data prediction. And after it has been done, I want to, refresh my semantic model to, update my Power BI report. So all these steps can be orchestrated perfectly in the our data factory. So basically, when we talk about the orchestration, we have two items in data factory to do the data orchestration. The first one is data pipeline, which provides you a no-code intuitive experience for you to orchestrate data movement, transformation, cleansing, and control flow by multiple different activities in a pipeline. And same as you see in the picture that you can just simply drag and drop different type of the activity and chain them together so that you can orchestrate those kind of activity in a single pipeline. And the entire pipeline can be triggered by either event or time-based schedule. And the entire, and also powered by the Copilot. And for the next one, if you prefer the code first experience, we also have a native support for Apache Airflow so that you can write your own code to orchestrate your data integration. So that given that you can just enjoy the serverless model, as well as auto scaling for the Apache Airflow without worry about any of the Airflow cluster. So we have a demo for this to show you. Yeah, let's play the demo.
Apache Airflow is the world's most popular data orchestration platform. Now in Microsoft Fabric, you can create Apache Airflow environment using Apache Airflow job. You get a fully functional Apache environment in seconds. You can now author Apache-directed acyclic graph, or DAGs, using Python and Fabric using the Cloud IDE. So let's create a new DAG file and call it Hello World. You can easily debug and run the DAG with Apache Job UI, providing native authoring and debugging experiences for Apache Airflow. You can jump into Apache Airflow Monitoring UI if you need more detailed execution log analysis. Let's look at a real-world Apache Airflow DAG that orchestrates medallion architecture-based workflow. In this DAG, we use Apache Airflow Provider for Microsoft Fabric to invoke Fabric items like data pipelines for ingesting data, notebooks for transforming data, and semantic models for refreshing reports, and finally sending an email notifications on success or failures. As you can see, Authoring and debugging Apache for DAGs is made simpler with the Cloud IDE, along with the instant availability of Apache Airflow clusters, making data engineers super productive in Microsoft Fabric. Thank you for watching this demo.
Thank you for watching the demo. In terms of the orchestration roadmap, so at Ignite just last week, we announced that now you can import, export your pipeline so that you can easily share your pipeline with your partner to co-work. And then also we add a new activity called semester model refresh activity so that you can orchestrate refreshing your semester model in our pipeline. And moving forward, which is coming soon, is that we're going to support for a workspace variable so that you can have a more dynamic way to orchestrate your pipeline. And we can also support service principal SPN support for all the activity. And we can also have a one-lake event trigger so that you can achieve the scenario like when your file arriving on your one lake, your pipeline going to be triggered, etc. Yeah, that is for the orchestration. So next, I'm going to talk about the one of the most important data integration capability, transformation. So next page. So we know Power Query has been the pillar of our data transformation and data preparation for many years, right? It provides you a low-code experience for you to transform your data from Excel, from Power BI, from Dynamic, from many places, right? With Dataflow Gen 2 in Fabric, so you're going to get very similar experience from Power Query, but at the same time, you can enjoy the scalable the benefit by the Fabric compute so that you can, do the data transformation on the big, large volume of your data. And Power Query, the Dataflow Gen 2 is also powered by the Copilot. So recently at the last week at Ignite, we also announced a new feature for the Dataflow Gen 2 is that now Dataflow Gen 2 support CI/CD and the public API. So it's going to be more attractive to the code developer who want to get benefit from our the Dataflow Gen 2. So let's watch for the demo.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the upcoming Dataflow Gen 2 CI/CD capabilities, which are a top enterprise customer ask. In order to enable these capabilities, we are evolving Dataflow Gen 2 to become a native Fabric artifact, instead of a legacy or classic artifact as it currently is. This project has been a massive undertaking during Dilithium and a very strong collaboration between the data integration and Fabric platform teams, and we plan to take it through preview and GA milestones in Selenium. Let's go ahead and create a new Dataflow Gen 2 artifact. The first new capability that you see is the ability to give a name upfront to the new Dataflow. Customers can also opt into the new CI/CD capabilities from this dialog. The authoring experience, as you would expect, remains consistent for customers. Let's quickly create a query by connecting to a recent data source and selecting the customers table. Next, we will publish our data flow. Here's another difference with the classic Dataflow Gen 2 authoring experience. We have decoupled the publish artifact operation from the first run of the artifact. This was another frequent customer ask. Now that we have our Dataflow Gen 2 CI/CD artifact created, let's take a look at the management and refresh experiences, which can all be accessed from the artifacts context menu. From this experience, we can also manually trigger a refresh operation for the data flow. The Dataflow Gen 2 native artifact is now leveraging the Fabric platform scheduler and the schedule refresh experience. This enables new capabilities such as the ability to refresh a data flow on a frequency basis every few minutes or hours, as well as the classic options to refresh. We have also integrated with a recent runs experience. And here you can see the result of our first data flow run. Customers can continue accessing the detailed history and diagnostics information for their data flow runs. Let us take a look at a completely new capability for Dataflow Gen 2, deployment pipelines. We can now create deployment pipelines to deploy Dataflow artifacts across workspaces. Let's configure a very simple pipeline that helps us deploy artifacts across our dev, test, and production workspaces. We can assign the workspace where we just created our Dataflow Gen 2 artifact as the dev workspace. And we will select a couple of other workspaces for test and prod. If we had a Dataflow Gen 2 classic artifact here, we would have gotten a warning stating that the artifact isn't supported. But with our Dataflow Gen 2 native artifact, everything is working seamlessly, and we can continue on with deploying our artifacts across workspaces. Let's take a look at the workspace artifacts view for our test workspace, where we can see that our Dataflow Gen 2 artifact was successfully deployed. Switching gears, let's go back to our dev workspace to show you how we're also enabling Dataflow Gen 2 native artifacts to benefit from Git source control. We see that our existing artifact is uncommitted. And if this had been a Dataflow Gen 2 classic artifact, the Git status column would have flagged it as unsupported. But now, Dataflow Gen 2 native artifacts are seamlessly integrated, and we can simply commit the changes and have them sync without any issues. Last but not least, we're also enabling public APIs to perform Cradle operations over Dataflow Gen 2 native artifacts. We have pre-configured variables in this PowerShell command window to define the Fabric workspace ID, the API URL, and the authentication token to use. We will now define a sample payload for the create Dataflow operation, including the ability to provide artifact properties as well as a base64 encoded Dataflow definition. Let us make the actual API call to create the artifact. And now that it has completed, let's check the API response. And we see that the data flow has been successfully created. Let's also take a look at the Fabric Workspace Artifacts view, and we see that the new Dataflow Gen 2 artifact has been created. Further capabilities, including SPN support for these new APIs, will not be available as part of the initial preview, but are planned for later in Selenium leading up to GA. And that's all for today's demo. All capabilities showed in this demo are fully functional in DXT and MSIT, and we are onboarding internal teams into the private preview starting this week, and the external NDA enterprise customers and MVPs starting next week. Our plan is to launch these capabilities into public preview at Ignite in mid-November and GA at the next Fabric conference in March. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching the demo. So we just showcased the Dataflow Gen 2 CI/CD and the public API have been available for you at Ignite. What is coming soon is that we're going to continue to make the Dataflow Gen 2 runtime support parameterization, and we can also add more output definition for Dataflow Gen 2. And we can also have the save as Dataflow Gen 2, which is a very solid path for you to migrate from Dataflow Gen 1 to Gen 2. Yeah, that is for the transformation. So next, I'm gonna talk about database mirroring. So in terms of the storage of unified data in one lake for cross-cloud scenario, there are two features people always mention about. One we call shortcut, which allow you get access on your data from Fabric to the storage without any data movement. The other we call database mirroring, as we mentioned here, which create a replication of the entire database in one lake so that you can further consume and analyze your data through multiple approach in Fabric. So move to the next page, you're gonna see the architecture of the database mirroring. You might be aware that the architecture is based on the CDC capability, which can provide you a turnkey experience to allow you to add the entire database into a one lake data state. So it's going to be super easy for you to set up mirroring, just a turnkey, right? And the mirrored data is automatically keep up to date in a new real-time manner. And the last thing is more important to you is that database mirror is free for you. So far, we have already support the database mirror, for Snowflake, for SQL DB, SQL MI, and Cosmos DB. So for the next slide as a roadmap, you can see beyond the more connector, we can also enable the CI/CD support for database mirror as well for you. And we can also add more improvement for the monitoring. Yeah, that's it. And hand over to you, Emily.
Okay, thank you, Ye. So next we are going to talk about the upgrade pathway to Fabric Data Factory. So when we talk about upgrade pathway, there are two parts. The first is how we upgrade the Power BI data flow customer to Fabric. The second, we will talk about how we upgrade the ADF and the Synapse customer to Fabric. First, let's start from the data flow users. So there are four steps, four ways for the data flow users to upgrade. The first is when you knew a data flow, you can easily copy paste the queries from data flow Gen 1 to data flow Gen 2. So that's number one. So number two is Power Query templates is very useful that you can export templates from an existing data flow. So when you create a new data flow, you can easily to create it based on the template. And the number three we are offering is that save as data flow Gen 2. So when you save a copy of an existing data flow, so you can easily save as data flow Gen 2. And the last is promote to Fabric. So we are have a way to promote an existing Power BI X file to a set of Fabric artifacts. For example, like data flow Gen 2, lakehouse output, semantic model, and report. So hopefully you find the best way for you to upgrade your Power BI data flows in Fabric. And so we already have the new data flow and the templates available today. And the save as and the promote, which is on our roadmap, we will deliver to you in a very near future. The next we are going to talk about is for ADF and Synapse customers, what is your upgrade journey? We provide four pillars for you. The first is the data factory in Fabric. We want to ensure that to achieve the feature parity between the ADF, the Synapse pipeline, and the Fabric. So currently, over 19% of our ADF activities are already supported in Fabric. So together with more than 40% connectors are already feature parity in Fabric. And number two is Fabric data source can work seamlessly with ADF and Synapse through supported connectors. So which means that when customer, you can direct your data to Fabric's one lake without changing to the source data, transformation logic, or orchestration. It is just run as it is. So simply connect to your lakehouse and the data warehouse. So number three pillar is we can link your ADF items in Fabric. This is public preview in FabCon in Europe. So these functions allows customer to link their existing ADF pipelines to the Fabric platform without any changes. So it is provide a unified platform for you to manage all your data integration across SaaS, which is Fabric, PaaS, which is ADF. And also it is provide a smoothly operation of current PaaS data integration. For example, like ADF and the Synapse pipelines with the new SaaS platform. And also number three is it is provide a good opportunities for you to explore and taste the Fabric's new features without any real deployment. So this is, we will show a demo later to show the latest ADF items in Fabric. And the last is upgrade the data factory. So this is a strong demand from customer for upgrade tool So the current plan we are working on is to produce an upgrade sample PowerShare script, and we will use this sample script in an open source way. We will host it in a GitHub repo for developers, ISVs, and partners. So this will take an example of how to build an upgrade tool. So it will then, if you are interested to build together the upgrade tool, and we can working together with you to support our customer to maintain and support the upgrade pathway. Okay. So what are available today is we already have feature parity and the connectors to Lakehouse and data warehouse available, ADF items available, and let's see the ADF items in Fabric Data Factory demo.
We are super excited to announce that existing customers can also experience the modern, complete, and open experience in Microsoft Fabric. Now, existing ADF customers can now integrate their Azure Data Factories directly into Fabric. Let's see how this is done. Here we are in our workspace in Fabric, and next to the data flows and data pipeline items, we can now see a new option to link an Azure Data Factory. Let's go ahead and click on it. Immediately, I'm presented with all the data factories that I have access to. Let me go ahead and select one of my Azure Data Factories and press OK. And just after a few seconds, we can see that the new Azure Data Factory you have selected has been linked over. After navigating to the Fabric workspace, we can see our Azure Data Factory, and after clicking into it, we can see all of our items like pipelines, data sets, and data flows that have been brought over from our linked ADF. All of my existing ADF investments continue to work in Fabric seamlessly. The existing items in my Azure Data Factory continue to run in Azure, but now users can test out the experience in Fabric, including all the additional capabilities outside of Data Factory. So let's go ahead and open one of the pipelines. We are now able to add activities. You can also directly debug or run your pipelines in the canvas here. Users can also choose to unmount or unlink their Azure Data Factory whenever they want to, allowing users to first test out the functionality of their pipelines, data flows, and data sets in Fabric before making the decision to upgrade. All in all, with Azure Data Factory item and Fabric, users can bring all of their existing ADF items that continue to run on Azure into Fabric. And most importantly, users can unmount or unlink whenever they want to. By linking an Azure Data Factory and Fabric, customers will now be able to seamlessly integrate their existing workloads and use the powerful low-code to process experience of Fabric. Thank you for watching this demo.
Yeah, that's the latest demo of the ADF items in Fabric. So next, we are going to talk about the most cutting edge and most exciting technology, which is AI and Copilot. So you will see that AI is everywhere for Data Factory. So if you already experience Data Flow Copilot, which is already GA, so this month we are so excited that we have the Copilot for Data Factory pipeline, which is just announced in Ignite last week, which is go public preview. So let's take a look at our latest pipeline Copilot.
Copilot for Data Pipeline provides AI capabilities for users to effortlessly create complex data pipeline, efficiently troubleshoot error messages, and easily understand complex data pipelines developed by others. First, let's see how easy it is to build data pipelines using Copilot. After creating a new data pipeline, clicking on the Copilot button, we can easily get started to build our pipeline using IntelliSense with 3 starter options and clear guidance. For this task, I will copy from Azure SQL table to Bronze Lakehouse and send Teams notifications in case of it fails. Immediately, a copy activity is created in the canvas and connected with the Teams activity when it fails. Through Copilot's help, we can easily add the connections. For example, we can use slash to choose an existing SQL demo connection, and then let's choose Lakehouse demo as my destination. From Copilot's suggestion, it looks like we didn't specify a source table and destination table. After inputting the tables, we have the fully functional data pipeline created easily. Then we can use the contextual prompt in the Copilot pane to run the pipeline. And once again, just a few seconds, the pipeline has been successfully run. Now, to make it easier, you can just use one simple prompt to complete a complex work like a metadata-driven pipeline. It works like magic. Copilot can understand user intent very well, such as setting up a metadata-driven pipeline to copy from different tables every time from source to destination by using the lookup, for each, and copy activities. Then it also runs successfully. Second, Copilot enhances not only pipeline orchestration but also troubleshooting capability. Using Copilot error assistant, we can understand errors easily with clear error explanation and actionable contextual troubleshooting recommendations. Clicking an icon besides field activity, I can get the error summary is related to the folder cannot be found in the source blob storage. Copilot provides clear recommendations as well as documentation troubleshooting links, so I can quickly troubleshoot and resolve the errors. Lastly, Copilot can quickly summarize your pipeline for better understanding, which is extremely useful in collaborative scenarios involving complex data pipelines. For example, we have this complex metadata-driven pipeline, and instead of me taking the time to understand what is going on, I can use the summarize feature so that Copilot can summarize pipeline quickly for me. Immediately, I can see a summary in a complex query in my pipeline, and it can help me enhance the productivity to assist on preparing the documentation for our team members to understand and maintain the pipeline easily. Using Copilot for data pipeline can greatly ease your work to effortlessly create, troubleshoot, and maintain your data integration solutions. Thank you for watching this demo.
So yeah, that's all for our demo, and it's also the end of our today's session. And so we are very happy that we kick off today's the Data Factory online stream and sharing the latest Data Factory, what's new, and roadmap with you. So back to you, to our host Isabel.
Thank you guys for the amazing session. I think it was very helpful and useful to all of our viewers across APAC. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I believe we have one question, and I'm just going to show it on the screen. So, what is the repo on GitHub? Would you guys be able to answer that?
Yeah, so it's a private report right now. If you can provide your email to us, and we will share with you.
Amazing. And then we also have another question from Sanjay. Are the integration runtimes still valid in Fabric Data Factory?
So yeah, you're going to take that question?
Yeah, sure. So now the data integration runtime have already been involved into the on-premise gateway on Fabric. So what you do is that you can leverage the on-premise gateway in Fabric, same as how you running in the integration runtime for other data factory. Everything is the same. So yeah, but just port to the on-premise gateway.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I believe these are the questions we have at the moment. But guys, if you missed anything, like I mentioned, this live stream will be available on the Reactor YouTube channel, and you can continue commenting, and we'll try to get back to you. Yay, and Emily, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, this was the first session out of many that we will be having. Our next one will be on the 10th of December, and it is about database mirroring. I will drop down the link again for you guys to sign up. It's going to be very interesting. And Yay is actually going to be around as well. So please don't forget to sign up. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.